Hi Cancers, welcome to your June 2019 monthly readings. Hopefully everybody's doing well. So this is going to be your no, show, and grow readings. I like these readings. I think they're valuable. Okay, so the first three cards I pull out are affirmation cards. So something you may want to say to yourself or confirm or reaffirm in the morning, in the mirror, or at nighttime before you go to bed. I suggest looking yourself directly in the eyes in the mirror when you're doing it. So your first one you got is I am bold. Okay. And, this is what you need to know. So you need to know that you are bold, or you got to be bold. There's black and white in here though. So in order for you to be bold, you got to break this perception of seeing things in black and white. It's almost like you need to combine two different, how could I say it? Two different viewpoints. It's like when you combine black and white, it creates gray. So there's a new perception is what I'm getting, right? Like, so it's like if you're making decisions with just your mind, or you're making decisions with just your heart, you need to combine both of them. You need to use both in order to break past some sort of barrier that you have. It's what I'm getting. The next card you got is I'm creative. This is a beautiful card, you guys. I love the color in it. Right? So artwork, seeing artwork. I don't know why seeing artwork. Maybe like there's an art museum that's near you or something. Fashion show or something like that. Makeup convention. Something about going out and seeing things. It could be a museum though for some reason. Like even a history museum. I am ready. It's like when you go out like to these conventions or museums or festivals of some sort, or I was going to say monumental. I don't know why, but like it may inspire you or give you an idea. You could run into people that spark your curiosity. Like when you're having a conversation with them, like an aha moment will occur or something like that. It also sounds weird, but what I'm getting. So for your tarot cards, you got the Devil, you got the Tower, okay, but the Tower did come in flip out reverse. I don't normally do reversals, so and considering it's a tower, like in reverse, if you see the card, the arrow's pointing down, and it's pointing down at the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is about I suppose you could say traditional things, things that have been around for a long time, like a really long time, like religion can be, you know, whether you're Catholic, Christian, Muslim, things like that. Like it's almost like also with the I am creative, there's it's like if you think that you're supposed to buy a house, right, and you're very concerned because you had some extra cards that came out. You're very concerned that you're never going to financially get to that point, like where you can afford it. Or even if you can, you know that you're not going to be well off. So, like, you're not going to be able to live the lifestyle that you want. Not well off. I'll rephrase that. So what I'm getting is that there's creative solutions. So it's like, because that's what everybody tells you, you know, like you go to school, get your diploma, get a job, have children, get married, you know, before you have children, after you have children, whatever. Buy a house and that's it, right? Like that's the way you're supposed to do things. That's conventional, right? Like, and that's not necessarily true. If you want to buy a house and you feel that you can't afford it, that's a goal that you're not going to be able to achieve. You need to get creative in it. So it's like you see shipping container homes. They're done in Australia. They're actually it's environmentally friendly. You do want to get a log list on the container. To see what kind of materials are held in it. That's something, you know, you want to research that because a lot of materials, different materials get handled in those shipping containers. But you can build your own shipping container home for, you know, less than 50,000, 25,000, you know, like there's ways that you can do things. The tiny home movement that's been happening too. I don't think I could live in a confined space like that. I think it'd be cool to stay in for like a week or so, you know, like because I'd feel like I'm playing like Lego or something in there. Because usually in those tiny homes, things start converting into different things, you know, or. But there's an unconventional way that you can do things. And with this card, you also got to keep in mind what's traditional for you may not be traditional for another, right? In Western cultures, it's okay to date, right? Like you get to pick who you want. Like you can date a person, decide this person is not for me, go date another person. In foreign cultures, you know, that aren't Western, they're a little more traditional, like in the sense that they, you know, they want to get married before they have children and or have sexual relations, that type of thing. So everybody's definition of tradition is different, right? Like we're all brought up with different traditions. You can see that if you celebrate Christmas. Most families have their own little, you know, Christmas traditions. They're all different from each other. So the way you see the world is not necessarily the way other people see it, and there's some sort of creative solution to a problem that you're having. It'll break. The next card you got is the Eight of Swords. It says barriers, so it'll help you break barriers. Like if you think you're restricted, it's because you're thinking in the manner that society wants you to think. Where there's, if there's a will, there's a way. Honestly, right? It depends on what you want, and you have to know your why. It's very important for you guys. So why are you doing what you're doing? Because you want a secure future for yourself, you know, or you're doing it for your children, your mother, your father. Once you have your why, it'll give you some gas. It's your fuel to drive you forward, is what I'm getting. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is talking about wealth. It's generational wealth. Like, so maybe some of you, you know, you're very stuck on creating a very firm foundation that's going to last generations. Like, but I kind of get the feeling that you Cancers want something of your own, like that nobody can take from you, or like, so it's kind of like a house. You want your own property or something like that, right? That's yours and yours alone. Well, again, there's creative ways, you know, like we're pretty blessed to be in today's day and age because you can do so much free research. There's so much knowledge out there that you can gain, right? Like, so if you wanted to build your shipping container home, right, then those things can look pretty fabulous. I'm not even lying to you guys. They can look pretty fabulous. And you're creative about finances too. So that would mean, like, if you were doing that, you would be going to construction sites, you know, after they've demoed places. You can get a lot of free countertops and things like that, or builders, cutoffs of countertops too, like little leftover pieces from actual stores that supply countertops. They want to get rid of them. You can get them real cheap. But you can do a lot of research online of people that have done it, learn their mistakes, you know, like, so you don't make those mistakes, right? Like you don't have to be trapped. Like, there is a creative way. It's hard work and dedication, though. It's not easy. Then you had the Hierophant. You've seen that already. And then the Moon card. It says past lives on it. And the Moon I associate with Cancer. I think everybody says Pisces. But for me, it's Cancer because you're ruled by the Moon. All right. So what I'm getting for you guys, because what you need to grow, it says, I am ready. You have the Eight of Swords and then past lives. So you're ready to break barriers. Like, you're ready to go. You're ready to not feel trapped anymore. And basically what I'm getting with the Moon card, it's like things that are hidden, there's going to be light shined on them so you can see it, right? Because it says past lives, as long as you've learned lessons from your past and you don't make those mistakes again, then you should be able to progress forward. You had some extra cards that came out, okay? And you do have the Nine of Wands, which is a burden, okay? But on the card, it says strength. So you have the strength to move forward. You got the Five of Pentacles. It says worry on it. And then you have the Hangman. Okay. And then you have the Five of Cups with the Knight of Wands. So it's like disappointments. Okay. Here's the thing that I'm getting though with you guys. With the Knight of Wands, it's an energy that you're being given. Okay. And when you're given the Knight, it doesn't mean that you're digressing. Okay. At some point, we all need to digress to a Knight, because the Knight are the action takers, the ones that are going out, experiencing, traveling, trying new things, changing jobs, changing locations of where they live, meeting new people, trying new experiences. Okay. They're on a quest. It's a journey that they're on, right? They're making connections, but you got to be out to do that. The queens are just sitting in one spot, which means that you would be like at home and people are coming towards you. But the energies you are given to break past these barriers, disappointments, things like that, emotional disappointments, is the Knight. So that means that it's given to you. You have free will. And you have to take the actions necessary to make it happen. You have to get creative. You have to definitely, okay, with the Five of Pentacles and the Devil, there's a lot of worry here, okay? And worrying is not going to be a solution for anything. You already know what the problem is, so there's no need to worry about it. So what you need to be concerned about are the actions that you have to take. So what is the problem? What is the action that needs to be taken to find a solution? Okay, and the Knight of Wands is pretty positive and optimistic, okay? You do have the card Five of Cups beside it, which is disappointment. So it's like if you went to a bank and you tried to get a loan and then you were denied, that's okay. It's meant to happen for a reason, okay? Like there's ways that you could be debt-free in a creative solution. Okay, so if you purchase a house, I don't know why I keep going back to a house. If you purchase a house, okay, you're probably going to be in a lot of debt because it's owned by the bank and you're paying the bank and you're basically paying back double the amount, right? And it'll be paid off by the time you're 50 or 60. Whereas if you found a creative solution, going back to the shipping container home, and you paid all cash and it was done and dealt with, you know, you spent $25,000, you're debt free, right? Like, so you need to see things in a different perspective here. So you need to understand, you need to think about not sacrificing your long-term for short-term gratification, right? Like, so it's making a decision on this is what's best for me now, and it's going to give me gratification now, but long-term wise, you've sacrificed your long-term stability, right? So okay, with the Five of Cups and disappointment, what I'm getting is you're going to have to sacrifice your short term. So you're going to be disappointed. You're going to have to make decisions that in the here and now are not going to benefit you. So this may mean that you're going to have to cut back on spending. You're going to have to find creative solutions. So that means, like, instead of buying certain items at a store, at a chain store, I shouldn't say chain store, like a grocery store or whatever, you're going to have to get creative and maybe shops at the dollar store a little bit. Buy some things at the dollar store. You know, you can get like aluminum foil, things like that, you know, like to save money. You're going to have to be creative, okay? But the disappointment is what I'm getting is you're going to have to make short-term sacrifices. Okay, so that means your instant gratification is not going to be there. Your gratification is going to come in the long term. But the importance here is that you need to take the actions necessary. So you need to go out there and meet people, ask questions, go to conventions, go to multiple job interviews. And when you're at these interviews, you want to ask them questions too, because it's not just about them interviewing you. You're going to be there. You're dedicating your time. So you need to value yourself and also interview them. Ask them a lot of questions, you know, like, do you have long-term employees here, or do you have a quick turnover? Because if they have a lot of employees coming in and they're not staying, that may be a hint that there's something happening in that company that may not be positive, and maybe there's another company that you can work for where you will be more satisfied there, right? So The devil is coming through like you need to break these bondages, I'm getting more of your mind, like being blinded. So it's like, again, it's like people can say a lot, but do very little. So because you have this thing of like the black and the white, and you need to have gray, you need to see gray, combine the two of them, it's going to become gray. It's like, okay, there could be some people, and this can go like, how can I explain it? You know, there's some people that are the nicest people you will ever meet, the most caring people you will ever meet. And they show that on the outside, but there's also people that are like that, have a very cold persona. Like you wouldn't know they're like that. How you would see that though is and you can see this is if, and I say this a lot, I try to explain this a lot, is when a person is saying one thing but they're doing another. So a person can say that they're kind, but their actions are showing that they're not. They're like, oh yeah, I help people all the time, but you see them at work, say a person is saying, oh, I help people all the time, but what you actually see them doing is talking a lot, but they're never helping people. You know, they never help them, but they say it, right? But then you also get people that they have that cold persona, but in their like, they can act like they don't care. They can be like, yeah, I don't care. You know, like it doesn't bother me. They act like a hard ass, right? But their actions show when a person, say at work, you know, is falling behind or doesn't know something, that person that has that harsh persona, their actions are showing that they're kind because they go over and they help that person, right? So it's like they're a big softy on the inside, hard shell on the outside. I just had a Cancer moment there. I was like, well, that's kind of Cancer. I'm a Sag, you guys, and I have a Sag Mercury. So things just spew out. I don't even think it, you know, like I can laugh at, like, I can honestly say something and then laugh afterwards. I find myself amusing, right? Because it just spews out. And then it's like, I realize what I said afterwards. But with the devil, it's important that you're breaking chains, that you're budgeting, that you're changing your perspective. It's like you're entrapped into this way of thinking. The Tower was reversed. So this is like, when it's upright, it's like a foundation that was built that's not serving you, or it wasn't built on a firm foundation. So it's breaking, right? Like, so I don't know why I keep getting this house thing, but you know, shipping containers are actually like more earthquake proof, hurricane proof, you know what I mean? Like compared to a house. So, you know, you definitely need to take movement. Okay. So what you need to know is that you are bold. You have the Devil card and the Ten of Pentacles. What you need to know is that there's a way to get out of what you believe is trapping you. There's a way to get everything that you want, right? Sometimes less is more, okay? And there's this saying that everything is nothing and nothing is everything. You know, like rich people tend not to be very happy. They can't trust the people around them, you know? They never know who's on their side. You know, where the little guy who lives in a small place, you know, like are quite happy. You know, if you live in a big house, nobody's really talking to each other or seeing each other. When you're in a smaller space, you interact with each other. Okay. What you need to show is that you are creative. You have the Tower and the Hierophant. So basically what I'm getting is what you need to show is that you can break conformity. You can break the standards that people in society are putting on you. That includes like your spouse and them. You can surprise them, you know, like you're more powerful than you think. Okay. You have creative solutions. It's like, instead of going to a hotel with everybody, going on an RV trip, you know, camping. This is like going to the beach and having picnics and stuff. I love doing that, you guys. You know, it might be because I got 4 planets that sit in the House of Cancer. There's a party going on at home in my chart. But I love the water. I do have strong Scorpio too. And one thing that my family does, and you know, like that I started doing, I think about 2 years ago, is we do, I guess it's a picnic or a barbecue at the beach, right? We all go down, my mom, my dad, my sister, her boyfriend, my brother, me, my boyfriend, we all go down. We all have different interests, You know, like I enjoy paddleboarding. My boyfriend does skimboarding. I try to get my sister and my mom and all of them to come out and do new things. Like we'll rent kayaks or, you know, what are the canoes? You know, we'll try them, you know. In my family, we're not going out far in the water either. We're like, screw that, man. If I can't stand up in the water, because it's the ocean, right? Like there's shit out there, like jellyfish and stuff. And so we all stay in like the shallow water, you know what I mean? But you know, they've all tried things. That my mom did paddleboarding and my dad tried it before, and you know, like that shocked them, right? Like so if you're having problems with the people around you, like your friends and your family, like children or mother or father, it's good to get out in nature and bond in that manner, you know, like your friends, you know, like everybody's lifestyles, when you're adulting, you get busy, right? Like, so it's bringing things back to creative solutions. Like you can play volleyball. What's that? Badminton? Is it badminton? You know, like beach ball, fly kites at the beach, you know, like my dad flew a kite once, you guys, and let me tell you, the inner child in him was just beaming out. He's a Capricorn, so Capricorns don't like to admit when they're having fun. They'll be like, it was all right, you know, but I snapped a picture of him and my sister. And when you zoom in on the picture, my dad's just smiling ear to ear. His inner child, right? It came out. But if you're having communication issues with the people around you, when you get out in nature, like hiking, going on hiking trips, or just walking after dinner or something, you'd be surprised at the conversations that will occur, the things that will come out. You know, like there's creative solutions. Things aren't as difficult as you think, right? Like it's just breaking conformity and knowing that you're not, you don't have to do what everybody's telling you have to do, right? But you have to go out and get the information yourself. You want to start a business, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of government programs, entrepreneur programs, and, you know, you can get into those programs and the government's paying for it. So, and you can gather information and knowledge from those who have started their businesses because they're involved in that program. And they can give you the information that they've gathered. It doesn't mean that what they did is going to work for you, but it does mean that they made mistakes and they've had experiences and they now have wisdom. You're going there to get knowledge. They have wisdom, right? We all can have knowledge. We can all research knowledge, but you want to go after wisdom, right? So they can tell you the mistakes that you don't need to make, all right? Like you can hear that in people that have had past relationships and they're like, I wish I would have done this differently. Well, they know that, but they've applied that to the next relationship and now they're more successful in that relationship because of the realization, all right? Like when they're in denial, that means they're trapped, okay? Like you don't want to be in denial about things. All right, and we're going to pull a little wisdom card. You got creative solutions. Don't be afraid to be creative. Let your light shine through. You know, like write your ideas out. You know, like, okay, you guys, you had the rooster that fell, and the rooster is good luck. In the Portuguese culture, I believe in a lot of Asian cultures as well. And it's fitting. It says creativity on the back. It says, although the animals of the Burman town were considered too old to be useful, they used their creativity and their voices to find a new home, a new job, find food, and new friends. See, that's very fitting because you have the Knight of Wands, all right? All may seem lost, but it is merely the end of a season. Time to find your voice and speak your truth. Now is the time to explore fresh new pursuits that express your authentic self more fully. Have fun doing it. Try new things, you guys. I always recommend going on Groupon. They got lots of events and things, restaurants, stuff like that that you can do for really cheap. New experiences, dance classes, planting classes, painting classes, things like that. Super cheap. Bring a friend with you. Try something new. Get your creativity on. You're going to get aha moments and inspiration moments. You're going to see that there are people out there living their lives, their passions, and searching for it. Doesn't matter their age, you know, like All right, I think that's pretty. Your reading's pretty straightforward and a lot shorter than everybody else's. You know, what you need to grow is I'm ready, breaking the barriers and not letting your past define you. All right, it doesn't define you. It doesn't. It's made you into the person you are, and you need to appreciate those things, even the hard times and the disappointments. You know, if you've lost money, then you have an appreciation for money, right? So that disappointment happened for a reason. Okay, it's made you more savvy, maybe with the dollar. Um, if you're older, you know, like you can be a painter and you need to get creative. So that's like if you paint and it's a hobby of yours and you want to turn it into a small business, you could start your own Etsy store. But like painting is one of those things where you can knock on dentist office, doctor's offices, restaurants, ask them to hang it up in there. They would make a I think there would be a concession fee or something like that that they would make. It's not the proper word. Um, but they may get a percentage of it, but you leave your card underneath there, and if people want to buy it, they can buy it. You know what I mean? You can get your artwork out there to a lot of places like that. All right. All right, you guys. Hopefully this helped you out. Namaste, and I will talk to you next month, and ciao for now.